Hey everyone, thanks for your support in 2024. We have a lot of cool stuff coming in 2025, and here are some of the things you can look forward to as we move into next year. In the lead up to The Mandalorian and Grogu in 2026, we'll be starting a full series rewatch of both The Mandalorian and The Book of Boba Fett on exploring hyperspace lanes beginning in October. You can also expect a rewatch of Andor, and we will have reviews of every episode of Andor and the rest of the Skeleton Crew as those come out. Josie will be returning as we continue to rank every Star Wars thing released ever. Reviews of every episode of every Marvel Disney Plus show, including Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, The Eyes of Wakanda, Wonder Man, Ironheart, Daredevil Born Again, and Marvel Zombies, the day after each episode releases, will be available on Beware of Spoilers. We'll be having special event podcasts on 30-minute reviews for the Academy Awards, our 2024 year in review in early January, ranking all of Phase 5 of the MCU after Fantastic Four First Steps comes out, and our 10th anniversary special. Once we complete our rankings of all the Pokemon games on the backlog files, we'll be moving on to Kingdom Hearts and Final Fantasy. Over on the YouTube channel, you can join in for playthroughs of Mario & Luigi Superstar Saga, Pokemon White, Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Blue Rescue Team, Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories, Kingdom Hearts Recoded, Mario Golf Toadstool Tour, Sonic Adventure 2, LEGO Racers 2, LEGO Star Wars The Complete Saga, and SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom. Want to keep on top of all the new things we have coming? Subscribe at mwpnews.com, subscribe on YouTube at youtube.com/@mwpnews, or subscribe to Beware of Spoilers, 30-minute reviews, exploring hyperspace lanes, and the backlog files on Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts. Again, thank you for your support. Good morning and Merry Christmas and Happy Hanukkah to all of those out there celebrating. It is Christmas Day, which is it's a weird, time where these two holidays kind of start on the same day. Apparently it's an anomaly. Well, I mean, it is an anomaly because of how the Hebrew calendar lines up with the Gregorian calendar. Either way, we're not here to talk about all of that. We're here to talk about Star Wars. And I think I said Beware of Spoilers. I meant exploring hyperspace lanes. You're not on the wrong feed. You're in the right place. The 5th episode of Skeleton Crew. We're going to keep this reasonably short because I don't have I'm not going to work today, so which is when I usually record these, which gives me a good half hour, 25 to a half hour to record. I don't have that today. I have substantially less time because all I did was run to the bank, and here we are. And one of the things that I did really appreciate about this episode, I think that this is one of the things, I said early on that, my issue with the show was that I don't really care about any of these characters or anything like that. I think the show has done a great job of letting the characters grow on me, and it's gotten to the point where it's even the little kids stuff that they're doing, when they get into the hotel on this resort planet, they're they're having the pillow fight. He's like, can you listen for 5 minutes? That whole thing is really endearing, and then it's that's the thing, is that it's anytime you have Jude Law who's doing his, is trying to corral these kids, it's a really great dynamic. And I think what we get at the end of this is episode 5, there are 3 left, and we got a real dynamic shift at the end of the episode. Now, someone really smart last week said that the treasure on Adatin is going to be the last Old Republic mint. And that does kind of, put us in a situation where it's why are we talking about this so mythically? There's actually raised quite a few questions that that don't really get addressed, in this episode, and I'm not 100% confident are going to be addressed by the end of this show. This planet, I understand the thought process of there being so many mints, and all the mints have similar names, which is, kind of what we got last episode, where it's Adachin, and all these other planets all kind of have similar sounding names. Because it's the naming convention of, this is where we're going to keep the mints. And they're all going to be hidden. So, this idea that, like, okay, so here's one that was so well hidden that it's just printing money, but, like, why are they continuing to print money if no one is picking up said money? Like, they didn't think it was weird when, like, 3 weeks after they were like, well, let's do that. And then also the other thing is, why would the Empire not have co-opted this in that sweeping takeover? Like, that was the big thing. We've talked about this before. In the first episode of The Bad Batch, you get this idea of, like, what the Imperial transition looks like. You know, the idea that, like, you know, we are now no longer the Republic, we're now the Empire, everyone's going to have these serial numbers so we can track them, and everyone's going to turn in their currency for Imperial currency. Like, why was this not handled, why was this not assimilated over? And I'm not 100% certain they can give a good answer to that, because that's the kind of thing that it's like, realistically, if we're in this situation where, you know, the Republic is, you know, has fallen completely, and the Empire is taken over. It's like, it's not like they would have kept this secret from the Empire itself, or from the Republic itself. There's all information that Palpatine would have had. Why was it not cut over? And why was it not, you know, just made into that thing? And then the other thing is, like, again, do they not understand how like, monetary policy works? If you flood the marketplace with money, it's just going to, like, with physical currency, it's just going to lower the value of it. Like, it's one of those things where it's like, whatever, you know, he's got, the whole thing is they want to get to AT-AT, and he wants to get there because now that he knows they have a printing press of Old Republic currency on AT-AT, and he wants to, you know, get it. And I think it's kind of like, you know, it's an interesting thing. And I like the way we are playing, what's his name in this episode? The way we're playing, you know, Jod in this episode. I think his name Jod. Jude Law. Like, the way they play him, where it's like he waits till the last second, and then at the last second he pulls the combat, you know, the fight to the death, to try and take control of the ship. Like, it's a really interesting dynamic to put him in, like, and it's like he's a cunning pirate. He's good at what he does. I would have liked to have seen a few more artifacts of things in the old pirates, you know, lair. Like, you go through all this effort to get there, and it's like, oh, there's a lightsaber here, but whose lightsaber is it? Who knows? I did like there was a Mun there, which is great, because we've now had 2 Star Wars shows this year, both of which have had a Mun appear. That's kind of awesome. And I think that, like, look, the kids are going to escape. The kids are going to find a way back to AT-AT now that they have the coordinates. But it's like, here's the thing. It's like, I don't know. Like, this is a self-contained story. I feel like this does not have to tie back to anything for it to continue to work. My one concern is, I don't know how this dynamic is going to work with the kids now in this new role, you know, with this adversarial role with Jod. Like, I don't know how well that's going to work. Like, the thing that's always worked is kind of like Jod kind of begrudgingly realizing that, like, I kind of have to do this, and now that he's taken the upper hand, it totally changes the dynamic, and it's not good. Like, it's kind of what you'd expect from the pirate, you know, like, I don't know, like, it's a weird situation to put the characters in, I think, and it's not weird good, it's just kind of like, the dynamic that I've liked so far has been taken away, so I don't know how this kind of works here. Let's see what they do going into the next episode, and how they kind of move us into a new place where we have these characters that are, like, they're all down in this pit now. Like that's the thing too, is that it's like, so this Pirate King has lethal traps all over the place. And it's like, they, you know, he, like, you go over here, there's an anti-gravity thing, and you know, you get too close to it, it pulls you, like, it fucks up the gravity, you get pulled up to the ceiling, you get impaled on spikes. There's a button you step on, and it creates this laser that goes out in every direction, and it just cuts through flesh and bone. And it's just like, this is a very dangerous, and it's just at, like, average neck level, where it's like, it's gonna kill you, or if you're just a little too short, it's just gonna, like, fuck you up in the face really bad too, and then still kill you, because it's just cutting through everything. Like, it's one of those things where it's like, so why is it that this, you know, what's it called, why did they fall in the one trap that just led them to another sub-basement but didn't kill them? And then it's like, you know, again, if, like the moment where he's invoking the, I forgot what they call it, the fight over who's going to be the captain. Like, the minute they invoke that, that's a really cool moment. And, like, especially considering it's like, you know, he says to her, like, just yield, and then I don't have to hurt you, just yield, and we're good. Like, don't make me do, like, it's, you can, like, there's something else at play here. I'm not sure what the move is, because I mean, he's basically gotten his way the entire time. I don't know why he needs to, you know, further get his way, like, get the, you know, without having to go through her. I don't understand what, you know, what that is. Like, I think it's just a way to separate them, because now it's like they don't think they can, like, they know they can't trust, like, obviously he has a plan, and I think that what's going to end up is by the end of the next episode they're going to be reunited, and he's going to be like, look, I had a plan, you guys fucked it up, like, but yeah, like, that's going to be the big thing. Like, anytime you get a show like this, you get the big reveal of, like, he turned on them, it's like, yeah, but did he really, though? I don't think so. I don't think he really turned on them permanently. If it lasts an entire episode, I'd be completely shocked. I think by the end of the next episode, this whole thing is resolved. I'm interested to see where they go, but hopefully we don't stay in this new paradigm for all that long. I'm completely honest. I'd rather just get back to what we were doing with them trying to get back. Like, I don't know. This feels like a way to milk another episode out of it into 8 episodes, and that is something that I'm not overly fond of. Like, we see this a lot, and like, one of the best examples of this I can think of is, like, if you go back and watch Jessica Jones, there's that episode where they catch Kilgrave very early on. Like, not very early on, but I want to say it's like episode 7 or episode 8. They have him in that tank so he can't use his powers anymore. And then it requires, like, 3 characters to do something really stupid to get him back out of the tank. And it's like, but we could have just, you know, this could have been over. Like, if you just, like, didn't act incredibly out of character. Like, that's kind of, you know, this show doesn't have that, because I think John is acting in character and all of that. 'Cause, like, I do buy that he would do something like this based on how he's been described so far. But also the kind of the other sense that I get from him is that he's very much like, he's a legend in his own mind. He's Han Solo if Han Solo was fully a pirate and not just a smuggler. Like, his own self-image is much grander than the actual image that he is and who he is and how he acts. And I think that is kind of where I feel that, like, he is in a weird place by acting out like that. It's like, what he's doing feels like he's like, this is what someone in this position would do. I need to do it too, because that's how this should work. And it's like, okay, but, like, also, like, I don't know. Because even going back to that beginning flashback, or not the flashback, the beginning where they're trying to raid the ship, like, and that's kind of what it is. I don't know. It's all kind of weird. But then also, the question I have that hopefully, like, the real question I hope that gets answered by the end of this, where is this money going? And I'm very interested to see how they answer that question. Where is this money going off to? But yeah, we'll wrap up there for today. And until our next episode, have a great rest of your week.